I'm not ready yet. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start when this and that happens. Have you ever used any of those phrases or one with a similar meaning? What are you waiting for? Nothing can nor will anything change if we don't take action. Change needs actions. Why are we afraid of taking action? This is episode 32 of the Get Uncomfy podcast, and I'm Joe. I'm here to remind you that nothing great has ever been achieved from within the boundaries of comfort zones. So let's get uncomfy together. Hi, I have met hundreds, maybe thousands of people who have great ideas, huge potential, and apparently are hungry. But the one thing that actually sets the ones apart who have actually made it or are successful or are where they want to be is that they were not sayers, they were doers. When they wanted something, they did something to get that. And at the end of the day, no matter how small the steps are that we take, at least we need to be moving. Because nothing can come to you without you stepping towards it, if that makes any sense. Nobody will ever come to you and serve you your goals on a silver platter. And nobody will come and solve all your problems for you. Are you waiting for it to happen by accident? Are you waiting for it to happen while you're lying down watching TV? You know that it cannot happen this way. Nothing comes easy, and great things never come easy. So I reflected a lot and I thought about 5 things that might help overcome this pattern that I realized stops people from actually taking action and starting to fulfill their goals or head towards their goals. And I want to share those 5 things in this episode. So number 1 is embracing imperfect action. Don't wait for perfection. Progress is more important than perfection. What I mean by that is nothing's perfect, nor will it ever be. But at the same time, everything is perfect. It's about how you view it, right? There shouldn't be a set definition for what perfect looks like. In our heads, we feel like we don't start something because we're worried about it not being perfect. Well, how is it supposed to be perfect if we don't start somewhere? A basketball player didn't just become a basketball player. He had or she had imperfect shots at the beginning of their careers. A painter had imperfect paintings at the beginning of their careers. What I'm trying to say by that is, you'll never start perfect. And it's not possible to be perfect. Perfect doesn't actually exist. You taking steps is perfect. So that's point number 1. Understand that taking any step, even the wrong ones, is important in order to set the momentum and start actually attracting new things. Actually, action brings reaction. It's a very simple law of physics and chemistry. Action, reaction. You do something, you get something. Sometimes you don't get the thing that you expect, but you get anything in return, which is better than nothing. So start imperfectly, in order to get anything back, in order to awaken any kind of reaction. And then along the way, you'll get better and better and better and better at whatever it is you want to do. Point number 2 is overcoming the fear of failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's just a stepping stone towards success. What I mean by that is, when we were younger, when we failed at something, we were taught that it's actually the opposite of succeeding. If we didn't win a competition, that means we failed. If we didn't get full marks on whatever exam, that means we failed. But in real life, after we grow up, we realize we're going to fail a whole lot during our lifetimes. And I think that's pretty normal. Like if you look at Michael Jordan, for example, he took over 7,000 shots in his career and only scored around 3,000. So he is not perfect and he failed a lot. But the times where you win are the times that are going to make you happy and that are going to bring you closer to whatever you want to achieve. If you look at Russ, for example, Russ released one song a week for almost 9 years. And yes, that means he failed over and over and over and over and over and over again until he understood what it takes. A lot of people, a lot of successful people, when you listen to them or to their biographies or whatever, you realize that they failed at a lot of things before they succeeded at whatever they did succeed with, which makes us understand that it is normal to fail. It's better to fail than to stay where we are, than to stay stuck. Because through failure, it's like you take 2 steps back in order to maybe take 5 forward. So reframing the idea of failure into something that might actually benefit us and make us understand nothing's going to happen if you fail. You're not going to die. Your life will not shamble. You'll pick your pieces up. No matter how hard the failure is, you'll come out the other side. 100%. Point number 3 is the illusion of readiness. There is no perfect moment. Start where you are with what you have. There will never be the moment to start something. You'll never be ready enough to start something. When I started this podcast, I was not ready. Does that mean I don't do the podcast? When I relaunched the podcast, I was not ready. Does that mean I don't do it? Today, on the way here, I was not ready. It's okay. It's okay because sometimes we think to ourselves, when this and that aligns and this and that happens, I'll be ready. How will you know that you're ready? Will the angels and the stars align and shine in the night sky and tell you you're ready, take the step? No. In fact, if you're waiting to be ready, then you're waiting for a miracle, because you can't be ready if you don't actually do anything, in my humble opinion, of course. Because by trying and trying and trying, you get yourself closer and closer and closer to be ready. If ready means strong or capable or confident in your abilities. But you cannot start confident in your abilities because you don't even know your abilities. What are you waiting for? I'm going to ask this a whole lot of times in this episode because I truly don't understand. I talk to so many people and so many people tell me like, I'm not ready to do that yet, but I have this and that and this and that idea. Well, do anything to start a momentum, to build up any kind of strategy or movement. But if you keep waiting till you're ready, one day you'll look back and be like, damn, I missed the train so many times. And you don't want to miss the train. Hop on the train and get going. Problem number 4, or thing that might help you overcome the stuckness of not being where you want to be or taking action, is killing the problem-seeking mindset. And what I mean by that is looking for problems that might or might not happen will always paralyze you from taking action. I know a lot of people who want to do great things. I know a lot of people who are so freaking ambitious. But as soon as you talk to them about anything that they should be doing, I don't know, send your CV there, or do this or do that, or take this job, or apply for this position, or drop your job and start your own business, or whatever, or move to another country. Immediately, they seek the problems that might come, that might happen. Not for sure. No one knows for sure. But they'll be like, yeah, well, if I move, what if this and that happens, and this could happen, and this could happen. If I leave the job I am at right now and I take this new job, I might be bad at it and they might fire me. If I leave this job and the other job might require me to fly more around the world and I don't have time, it might take me away from whatever I want. If I do this, then I might get this and this fine or whatever. I'm like, bro, why are you actively looking for problems? Why? If you don't want it, just say you don't want it. But don't say I want it, but I know this and this will happen. I know this and this will happen. There's a friend of mine who really wants to quit their job and become an entrepreneur. Like, this is the ultimate dream. And whenever you talk to them about it, they'll be like, yeah, I would love to do that like tomorrow. And they're like, okay, what's stopping you? And they give me all those possible scenarios that might happen in the future that might affect their life. So they keep themselves in that comfort zone, which I absolutely despise, as you might have noticed already throughout the podcast. I really hate people who stay in their comfort zones just because they're scared of whatever problem might come on their way. The thing is with the problem-seeking mindset, when you keep seeking problems that might happen, you see them way bigger than they actually are when they happen. For example, it's a very stupid example, but it doesn't matter. When I started sharing my content online, a problem that I used to seek was, what if someone hates my content? Or what if someone writes something hateful in the comments? And for me, it felt like a huge deal back then. But then when I had the hate comments, I realized it's not that bad. It's actually not. Or when I was self-employed for a very short time, the problems that I used to look out for were taxes. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. But as soon as you have the problem, you realize, damn, there are so many strategies that I can implement in order to solve those problems. You cannot solve a problem before it arises. It doesn't work. When you imagine a problem, you cannot imagine a suitable solution because you don't have the tools. But once you go down a path, and problems will shoot at you the whole time, which is a very normal thing. While you're on the way, you'll see all those, let's call them stones or rocks in your way, and you will figure out how to move them aside quicker than when you're still at your starting position and looking far ahead and thinking, I think that rock is too heavy for me to move. You don't know that. Drive there. It might be a hollow stone. It might have no weight. Just go there. Figure it out. And if it doesn't move, you'll have to reroute. I don't know. But at the end of the day, stop seeking the problems that might happen and just go with the flow. And when they arise, you'll figure it out. And then point number 5 that might help is redefining tomorrow. Tomorrow is a concept. Today is all we have. Today is the opportunity. Seize it. You don't know if you'll wake up tomorrow. You'll never know if you wake up tomorrow. No one does. So the only thing that you have is now. It's a very cliche thing to say, but that is so true. It's now or never. And it's always going to be now or never until you take action. So by always saying that I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it whenever and whatever, you're just postponing the feeling of, you're just postponing your fear, actually. You're just postponing starting, and tomorrow something else will come up and distract you and take you away from whatever you want to do. Doing anything today will not kill you. That's for certain. But doing nothing, after a while you'll look back and be like, damn, I wish I had started 10 years ago or whatever. Because stop thinking about yourself today. That's a very contradicting point of view, but you'll get the point. Stop seeing yourself from today's perspective. See yourself from 10 years from now, right? If you could fast forward 10 years, would you look back at today and be like, this is a good day to start? I wish I had started on this day. Yes. Because if you start today, that means in 10 years, you'll be somewhere different. But if you start a month from now, you'll have one less month. If you start a year from now, you get the drill. So try to think about your future self. Even though it's a concept and this might not happen, but it could help you take action. Thinking about your future self, I'd want my future self to thank my present self for actually doing what I'm doing today, because it got my future self to where they are. If that makes any sense in your head, because it totally doesn't mind, let me know. But I love this quote that says, there is a past version of you that's so fucking proud of you. So now, when I look back to Joe 5 years ago, I know Joe 5 years ago would be so proud of me today. But I'm also very happy and very lucky and very thankful that Joe 5 years ago started taking action towards me being here today. But if I hadn't done anything 5 years ago, I'd look back now and say, damn you, past Joe. I wish you would have started earlier. I wish you would have started that day. I wish you would have... You know what I mean? So, there is no tomorrow, there is today. If you don't do it today, you're not going to do it tomorrow. Doesn't work. You'll maybe do it someday, or maybe not. But if you really want something, if you really in your core feel like you want something, just give it a try. This is all I'm trying to say. Stop waiting for anything to happen. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for someone to come and take your hand and show you the way. Jump. Do anything. One step after the other, you'll get closer and closer and closer. So to sum up the 5 points that might help you take action quicker, or help you prevent yourself from having the fear of taking action. Number 1 is embracing imperfect actions. Understanding that your actions will never be perfect from the beginning. Start imperfectly, it's fine. No one's watching. The second point is overcoming the fear of failure. Reframing the idea of failure as an opportunity, as a stepping stone towards success. Failure doesn't mean that you're never going to stand up again. It just means you have something to learn to move forward again. The third point is the illusion of readiness. Being ready. You'll never be ready. You'll never be as ready as you are right now. And that's a fact. Point number 4 is killing the problem-seeking mindset. Stop thinking about problems that might happen. Go for it. And if that problem arises, you'll figure out how to deal with it, and you'll realize that it's much smaller than it was in your imagination before you started. And point number 5 is redefining tomorrow. Understanding that tomorrow is a concept and today is the only thing we have. And also understanding that you want your future self to thank your present self for actually taking action when you did. So take the action today in order to live the way you want to live in a couple of years. That's it for today. Quick, short, and easy. But yeah, so thank you very much for listening, as usual. I hope this episode brought any kind of motivation or any kind of insights. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. Yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I love you all. See you all next week. And stop waiting. Do something today.